Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel and welcome to Sorvent's non-meta tournament number 5. This is going to be the VIP qualifier number 1, so this isn't the actual tournament itself, but basically what this is it's little VIP qualifiers, very similar to like the TCG. They have little like VIP events where you go to locals and you win, and then you can get a 2-round buy in YCS. This is very similar, except it's for my own tournament. I just didn't have a lot of time on my hands since I was moving cities, but I still wanted to host a tournament, so I decided to host this tournament. It's a little single elimination, 8-player thing where the winner gets a round 1 bye in the actual tournament. Because obviously 2 rounds would be a little insane. So up at the top we have iPone, and he is on trains, and down at the bottom we have Nightmare or Malefic Lord, and he you'll just see what he's on. He's on a crazy deck. I'm not even sure what I'm gonna title this, honestly, but yeah. So let's go ahead and get right into it. It looks like he is going to be going first down at the bottom. So he starts off with a copy of Magical Meltdown, and that is going to be searching for a copy of Alistair. So I guess it's like Time Thief, Winder, Invoked. That's like, or Time Thief, Phantom Knight Invoked, rather. But looks like his Alistair is going to get hit with a Gamma. That's pretty rough, honestly. He doesn't really have a whole lot here, so it looks like he's just going to pass his turn. So Gamma really showing its worth here. And then we're going to see iPone come down, and he's going to activate Heavy Forward. So I'm a little unfamiliar with a lot of the train cards, but I think they're like pretty straightforward for the most part. So it looks like this is just adding an Infinite Track from the deck to hand. Terraforming to add Revolving Switchyard. And then he's going to use the effect, which I believe discards a card and adds a level 10 train. I could be wrong, but it looks like that's what it does, yeah. Then it looks like Infinite Track Harvester is going to be summoned here, and it is going to get hit with a Gamma as well. And it should get destroyed unless if I'm missing something. Maybe one of these doesn't make it so they can't be destroyed or something, but I could be wrong. Yeah, it looks like he's just going to just play Dare Crane and Super Express Bullet Train, which I believe activate themselves in chain, maybe. So maybe he did chain 1, chain 2, and then he negated the Gamma. Okay, so that makes sense. So then Bullet Train and the Dare Crane are coming down. He's going to hit a Gustav Max, and that's going to be doing 2,000 damage. And then looks like the end phase is going to clear over the Driver and the Gamma. I'm not sure why the Gamma isn't banished here. It could have been destroyed by something, but I don't see what would have destroyed it. So maybe he just misclicked, I'm not too sure. I don't think it's going to matter either way since it's just a Gamma. But Phantom Knights of Ancient Cloak is going to be normal summoned here. And then Boots is going to be special summoned from the hand. He's going to overlay into a copy of Phantom Knights of Breaksword. He's going to detach material and get rid of the field spell, and then it's going to kill itself as well and bring back both Phantom Knights from the graveyard, and then I'm assuming he's going to overlay into maybe like a Redoer or another rank 4 here. No, he's going to link them off. Okay. He's going to make Bujinki Ahashima, and it's going to special summon Time Thief Winder as well as Alistair the Invoker, and he's going to overlay those into a Redoer. So I guess that makes sense. He just needed, he just wanted an extra material over there. Boots is going to be using its effect to search for Fogblade, and then Cloak should be using its effect here as well for another a copy of Shade Brigadine. And then he's going to be setting this Fogblade and the Shade Brigadine. He could have possibly ended with 2 rank 4s here. If you do see the play, he could have made a Redoer and then detach the Winder to detach from the Cloak to special the Winder, and then he could have banished the Cloak to search for the trap, use the trap since he has no traps in grave, special it, and then he has a trap under the Redoer. So I'm not sure if he's on a second rank 4. We will check the deck list out at the end of the video, but yeah. So Anchor Drill is going to be drawn here for turn. And then Time Thief Winder is going to pick up a spell card. And we're going to go into main phase, and Gustav Max is going to be dealing 2,000 points of damage. And Flying Pegasus is going to be normal summoned here. And it should special one from Grave, it looks like, and that's going to get hit with a Fog Blade. So he's just going to overlay Juggernaut Leave on top of his Gustav Max. And yeah, I think that he's just going to basically lose here since it gains like a lot of attack. It gains 2,000 attack and defense, and then it can declare attack equal to the number of materials it had plus 1. Or maybe that's just not a mandatory effect. So maybe he can just do only 1 attack. But Redoer is going to be tagging out here. He's going to go into battle phase. They realize it's enough damage, so he's just going to scoop it up. Then we're going to be going into game number 2. So Let's see. It looks like he is going to be opting to go first this time, starting off with the Phantom Knights of Silent Boots, just go into a copy of Almirage. That's going to get hit with a DD Crow over the copy of Silent Boots. That's okay, so Chainlink 1 Exceed since it has to trigger first, and then DD Crow. As Chainlink 2, and then in a new chain, Exceed is going to summon a new one from deck, and then he is presumably going to overlay for a Redoer. Yep. And then he's going to set this copy of Invocation and just pass his turn. So then Redoer is going to be using the effect to grab a Urgent Schedule from the top of the deck. And Lightning Storm, calling spells and traps. He just says that's fine. He doesn't really care too much about Invocation anyway. He also drew into Pankratops, which is actually pretty insane here. But he can dodge the Pankratops either way. This really doesn't do a whole lot. I mean, it can attack over stuff, but like he can just clear his board. So it's not really going to get a whole lot of advantage out of this. But it looks like Harvester is going to add, and then Dozer is going to tribute to special itself, and then special an Infinitrack from deck. He's going to overlay into the rank 5, which I think like adds an Earth Machine from deck to hand. So he's going to add Machina Citadel, which is actually a new card. Reader is going to be using its effect to draw a card and tag itself out. Almirage, it doesn't matter if he tagged it out or not, since he's going to be taking, you know, direct damage anyways. And it's just going to be attached as material under Stormers, so that's actually kind of interesting. You don't really see Link monsters under Xyz monsters very often, except for usually like in Orcus. But End Phase Reader comes back. He draws to turn. He fortunately drew like Invoker Fogblade, which is like really good. And he needs 3 different types in the graveyard. He just has some Cybers monsters. So he doesn't have really like a good way to activate this as Stratos. But it looks like he's going to use Reader's effect to draw into a copy of Winder, which is actually not bad here. It could be good like next turn, but Alistair the Invoker is going to be normal summoned here, and he's going to just link it off, it looks like. So I guess he's only on 1 copy of Invocation. It's pretty rough. Lambda is going to be link summoned here, and then he is going to be banishing Alistair, Redoer, and Exceed to get into a copy of Stratos. So yeah, so that actually sets up his Invocation quite nicely, since the Invocation is now in the graveyard and the Alistair is banished, so he can just add it back. Hopefully he sees that play, we'll see here. Then he's going to use Stratos' effect to destroy Earth, or I guess a type of monster and destroy it, so he's going to be destroying machines. And then Stratos is going to be attacking over, that's going to be chained, hitting the copy of a Lambda. If he had a Gamma in hand, that would be insane, but he's not on it, or he is probably on it, but he probably just didn't draw it. Then he's just going to be setting Fogblade, and yeah, he can't summon Earth Machines, so it looks like he's just going to be setting a copy of DD Crow and hoping his opponent can OTK him, so we'll see. Stratos is going to be using its effect, and he's going to, I'm not sure what he declared. I'm assuming he declared Dragon or something. I don't know. I don't know, actually. I don't know what he declared. Or maybe he just realized he couldn't declare it, but he definitely can if he activated it. He can do like dragons, since it can't be destroyed by card effects, so it would just, your opponent can summon dragons, or neither player can. Stratos is going to be swinging over DD Crow. Winder is going to be attacking directly, so it looks like he's just completely forgetting about this Invocation. He definitely could have pushed for damage here, because I think he could have made he could have definitely made Purgatrio, swung over, and then swung with Stratos for game, but I don't think he saw the play. But that definitely would be a play to easily win the game there. Anchor Drill is going to be normal summon. That's going to get hit with a Fog Blade, and then he's going to be using Trencher to tribute it and special it from the hand of defense. Then he's going to be linking it off into Infinitrack Goliath. And then he's going to be using the other effect of it to, I think, target 5 Earth Machines, and then, like, Pot of Avarice them, basically. Shuffle them back, draw 2. So it looks like 3, 4, 5. Yep, so it looks like that's the effect he's going to be using. Drawing 2 cards. Drawing in a driver. Ooh, that's rough. Then it looks like he obviously didn't see, like, he didn't see the play to win the game. I didn't see it in his hand either, so. Yeah, moving into game number 3. We'll see how this one goes as well. So it looks like he is going first yet again. I mean, obviously Trains wants to OTK, so it makes sense. He's cited in Twin Twisters this time too, as well as some Kaijus. So Alistair the Invoker is going to be normal summoned here, searching for a copy of Invocation. And then he's going to be linking that off into a copy of Almirage. Exceed is going to be triggered here, special summoning itself, and another copy of Exceed. So what's really cool is if he's on IP, this would be really nice, since he can just turn these into IP, and then he can make Unicorn on his opponent's turn, as well as he can make Raijin with this, because it's a wind. So I'm not sure if he's on the IP. He might just be on a rank 4. Quick Launch is going to be actually activated here. Wow, okay. Tracer is going to be special summon. Tracer's effect, popping Magical Meltdown, and then grabbing a copy of Rocket Synchron. Whoa, interesting. He could make a Trishula here, but I don't think he's going to. He's going to be synchroing for 8 with Xseed. So he's going to make a copy of Chaos Ruler, the Magical Dragon. Milling 5. I think he just picks up the Dark Beckoning Beast. Yeah, this is the one that's like a whole Sacred Beast engine. It's a 1-card Link 3, which is really cool. So yeah. Then he's going to be synchroing off Chaos Ruler and Rocket Synchron. Whoa, into a copy of Hot Red Dragon Archerine Abyss. That is something that I actually didn't expect, but pretty good there actually. So Hot Red is just basically an Omni Negate, and since he can get rid of a Dark Monster and Alistair being a Tracer, he's going to make the Kalika. So wow, really cool. His hand was basically all gas that turn. So he has a pretty good follow-up here, especially since this Alistair is going to come right back to his hand. So he definitely has, I mean, this Xyz isn't really doing a whole lot on the field, so if he could have made Lambda if he had a Gamma in hand, and that would have been like just amazing, but I don't think it's going to matter either way. So looks like this Humongous is going to be tributing over Kaliga. I guess that's the right option. I don't know. It's definitely hard to determine between like Hot Red or it, but I think he's just going to go Jizakira and then swing over maybe. So yeah, it looks like that's definitely what he's going to be doing. Swinging over for 100. Then in the main phase 2, Revolving Switch Art's going to hit the field, discarding a copy of Tunneler to search for Night Express Knight. He didn't normal summon this turn. Fortunately for him, Jizakure is a level 10 monster, so he can just overlay those. And it looks like since he summoned a monster as well, he can summon his Heavy Freight Train Derricrane. And then he can just, I guess, use both of them as material into a copy of Super Dora just to make it unaffected. It's really hard to get over. It's 4k defense, so we'll see how this works out. Plus, Jizakure is pretty strong, too. Then he draws Return Dragon into a copy of Impermanence. I think that he could maybe make a really good play here, like making a Raijin. I don't know. We'll see what he does here. It's definitely kind of a hard situation that he's in. So Dark Beckoning Beast is going to be normal summoned here, searching for a copy of Opening of the Spirit Gates, which is going to be using its effect to search for another copy of itself. And he can just normal summon another monster with Fiend monster with 0 attack or defense. So he's just going to be grabbing the one he searched for. Linking off into 4 into a copy of Saryuja's Skull Dread, drawing 4. So yeah, wow, he drew. I mean, this invocation can easily go back, I think. Or he's just going to keep it in hand? That's actually really interesting. Maybe he can just fuse from his hand if that's what he's thinking. So we'll see what he does here. Saryuja's Skull Dread is going to be linked off, maybe? Or I'm not exactly sure what just happened there. Hold on. Let me see if... Did this like tribute something? Or did he pop something? I'm a little confused. Because I think this guy made his own effect unaffected. I'm not sure exactly how this Saryuja went to the graveyard here. Let me see if I can figure it out really quick. So I know that you can just special these back by discarding a card. So I think he discarded a card and brought it back. I'm not sure. Oh, okay. Yeah, so Heavy Freight Train was detached. That's the card that just pops a card. Okay, so they're completely unrelated. So this just was detached to make it itself unaffected, and then Freight Train destroyed Saryuja. Then he discarded a card, being the Alistair the Invoker, to special back the Dark Beckoning Beast. Okay, that makes sense. And then Invocation is going to use it to make Raijin. And then Invocation is going to be shuffled back with the Alistair. It's actually kind of funny. He didn't even search for Invocation. He just hard activated it. He just, pitched this to make his Invocation live. That's kind of funny. Looks like he's going to be just linking off into a copy of Bujinki Ahashima. Actually, I think the card that summoned the Fiend from the grave was actually this, since you have to discard a card. I could be wrong. Yeah, once per turn, discard a card, special Fiend with 0 attack and defense from your grave. Okay. Then Ahashima, since they're both level 2 monsters, he can summon one from hand and one from grave. So he's going to be summoning back Kaliga and a copy of Invoker. And then he's going to be just overlaying those into a copy of Redoer, detaching to special summon Winder, using Winder to grab Retrograde, and he can set this Retrograde and the Fog Blade. He has like 4 interruptions here, which is really cool. He can Raijin flip something, he can Retrograde negate something, and Fog Blade negate something, being a monster. So Raijin's just going to be used to flip this Jizakira face down, because why not? It's a once per turn effect. He's going to then banish a Light and a Dark to summon Chaos Ruler back from the graveyard. He's going to go into battle phase and just swing over it. Why not? There's no really real reason not to. Then he's just going to be setting the 2 cards in the back row. 3 interruptions on his turn. Could be 4 with Redoer. Let's see what he grabs. He is going to be grabbing a monster. Unfortunate for him. He's just going to be using the effect to just tag itself out. And then it looks like Harvester is going to be summoned to the field here. And he's going to be grabbing a copy of Brutal Dozer. Unfortunately, I think that Nightmare just lags out here. But I do have the second replay. So as you can tell, these are pretty much identical. I think that he's missing a card that in his banished pile. But we might fix it here. I think it's just Tracer. Yeah, that should be banished. So I think we do fix it, actually. Yeah, so he fixes the Tracer banish. And then, so then the game continues, obviously. So Harvester is going to be tribute summoned, or sorry, tributed for Brutal Dozer. And that's going to get hit with a Fog Blade, because I believe it can special one from deck as well. Then he's going to be switching Dora to attack mode and swinging over Raijin, which is going to be using baiting Raijin's effect, which baits Dora's effect. And then he's going to be going into main 2. Getting rid of this Brutal Dozer into a copy of Goliath, and then it's going to get rid of the Fog Blade, obviously, and then Harvester or Tunneler is going to be using its effect, shuffling 5 back and then drawing 2. Can it shuffle? No, okay, so it's a light machine, so he can't shuffle the Jizakuro back. Then possibly Twin Twisters might come down here. We'll see here. I'm actually not sure. So, okay, he's going to be linking off into a copy of Double-Headed Anchor Knuckle. Interesting. Then Sentinel Earth Machine was special summon. He's going to be grabbing this Derek Crane, and then using the effect of this to special summon one from Grave, I think. So he's going to be summoning back Jizakuro and overlaying into a copy of Skyplace Gangardia. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but wow. Yeah, I believe he's just going to try and pop some cards. So getting rid of the Bunjinki Ahashima, dealing 1,000. And then he's just going to be, I'm not sure why the Winder ended up dying there. Oh, because of Derek Crane, probably. So in end phase, Redoer is going to be coming back, draws for turn, drawing into a copy of Estratos, and then he's going to be banishing 3 cards with different types, summoning Estratos. This is literally the most perfect top deck he could have ever wanted for, because now he can just pop machines. His opponent can't summon machines on his turn, and this is enough damage on board right here. 3,000, 3,000, 24, so that's 8,400. So, wow, absolutely insane here. I think he forgot to grab off the top with Redoer, but it doesn't even matter at that point, honestly. So that's going to do it for today's video. I will show you the deck profile. So here is his deck profile. I kind of like had a mini spoiler since I said I was going to say it shows deck profile, but you guys didn't know that I wasn't going to show the second place deck profile, so we're all good. Regardless, that's besides the point. So this is the deck. It's pretty standard, I guess, for the most part. Like, I mean, not standard. I don't know what I'm saying, but like, it's pretty much like we saw a lot of this deck in action. I mean, I don't think we didn't see any of these cards. I think this is all pretty much what you would expect after like watching the replay. So yeah, absolutely crazy deck. So I guess Phantom Knight, Invoked, Time Thief, I don't know, something like that. So I guess I would mostly just call it like Phantom Knight, Invoked, Dark Wind, I don't know, something like that. It's really crazy, obviously. In the side deck, this arch nemesis Estratos is obviously there with the effect Veiler, Gamma Seal, you know, all this stuff. And he plays a variation of this in the actual tournament itself, since it is going on right now. He made this deck, I think, a lot more consistent in the tournament, and it is very, very cool to watch. So I would highly suggest you guys watch the tournament when he comes and plays in a round. So just like 20 different engines in a deck. I'm not sure what I'm going to call this, but you know, it is what it is. Go ahead and pause the video if you want to see the deck profile. But that is going to do it for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys tomorrow for the second VIP qualifier.